Wack 100 is, clearly he fucks with the West Coast. He's from the West Coast. He's a big blood on Pyru. On Pyru. You know how Wack give it up. So clearly he fucks with Drake. As much as he said, that's what he said he does. He's been clearly on the side of Kendrick through this entire back and forth. But I do give him I give him some bail. He did at the beginning of the battle when Drake was putting out push-ups and Taylor Made, and right after Like That came out and Drake responded. He was saying Drake was up 2-0 from push-ups and Taylor Made. He did say that. He said, "Yo, this nigga is up 2-0." And then Euphoria dropped. He gave it to Kendrick, and then from that point on, people are speculating that TDE or Top Punch, whoever it might be from that side, had to sit down and had to talk with him like, "Hey, nigga, we don't like that. You from this side of town, you got to pick a side." So I don't know what went down, but people are saying that Wack is compromised between this battle, and the fact that they're even still talking about this shit for me is like, bro, this shit. Let's move on, everybody. Like, it done happened already. I understand why people still talk about it because they make money off this shit. As much as Joe just said, from what 50 is doing, he's making money off of it. These content niggas make money. And, that's exactly the position and the place that I'm trying to get to, where I could talk about these niggas and I can make some bread off of it. So, I get it. But anyway, this clip is from, I don't know if this is the Wack and Adam show. Adam being Adam22 from No Jumper. Wack defends Kendrick Lamar after Rainwater says K-Dot streams is fake. And Wack talks about him outselling Drake and Party Next Door in first week sales. So Rainwater is and was the, I believe, manager for Mo3 from Dallas, RP. Mo3, was murdered out there in Dallas a few years ago. I actually interviewed Rainwater on a podcast before. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I didn't know who the fuck this nigga was prior to that. At that time, I wasn't familiar with Mo3. I might have heard like one song on the radio. Not taking anything away from the nigga, but I didn't know who he was. And then from that point on, I just seen him in the news for what was seemingly negative things. But I do give him this. I give him the credit for this. Bro did say on this interview where we was talking to him, the platform that we were on at the time, or that I was on at the time, he was basically saying like, "Hey man, like y'all doing y'all thing, y'all got a good show here, but the numbers comes from negativity. People want to see negativity." And this is a time where he was doing interviews with Say Cheese, out to Say Cheese. He was making his rounds around the internet with the blogs and shit. So him telling that to us was advice that he was following on his own. As much as I seen him on the news, quote unquote news, blog, media news, whatever you want to call it, it was for negative shit. So he was using the entire blueprint or following the blueprint that he was telling us to follow. I feel a way about negativity in general. I could report on some negative shit, but I'm not going to engage in no negative shit. You feel me? Like, it don't make sense and it is just not worth it to me. But I understand why people do it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. It gets the people going. You know what I'm saying? It gets the people going. So anyway, they are on this show. I don't know, like I said, if it's the Wack and Adam show. Who knows? Who cares? Let's hear what he had to say. I might skim through a lot of this, but let's just get it started.
Thing a rapper could do right now is let the world know he pussy.
No, I called it.
I do believe Forrest will whoop the shit out of Jim Lee.
I
hate to say it, but I think he got that.
Kendrick 320,000. Drake and Party Next Door.
About 250.
On schedule to do 250. I said, boy, if they let Kendrick outrun them on that 21 song collab, now you know what happened. UMG just let it happen.
Well, that ain't a real Drake album.
No, fuck out of here.
I can't fuck with that. That is a real Drake album. It's a fire project. I think it's great. It's phenomenal. Wack is basically saying, hey, and let me see. Let me take a look. If he talking about this week, I doubt it's this week, but Kendrick, he said Kendrick sold 325 first week. Kendrick GNX first week sales. Let me take a look. He said 325. This is showing 319. So apparently Kendrick might have outsold him with what he's arguing, and I'll get back to the clip. He's arguing Kendrick had 12 songs. Drake and Party had 21 songs, so 12 more. Let me do my math. Let me get my fingers in order. Pause. Not 9 more, my bad. So you got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 9 more. 9 more records. He's saying the nigga had 9 more records, but sold less. Yeah, y'all can't let that happen. Now, basically, he is, like I said, he's taken up for the TDE West Coast side at this point. He's picked his side. He's staying on that side. Him and his man Academics get into it for this same thing every time he's on the show or every time Act calls him. He's basically saying when you have more songs on your album, you end up streaming a lot more because there's more records from a project to allow you to get more streams. Let's finish up and see what he had to say. Let me go back a little bit.
You just let it happen, boy. If they let Kendrick outrun them on that 21 song collab, now you know what happened. UMG just let it happen.
Well, that ain't a real Drake album.
Get the fuck out of here.
It wasn't like
that ain't a real Drake album.
It wasn't the effort that typically goes into a Drake album.
He was freestyling, sound like
Drake makes a lot of different types of music.
I think they probably being devil's advocate at this point. It's clearly it's my favorite Drake album to date. I see why they would say it's not a real Drake album because and shout out to Party. I fuck with Party heavy. Like I love every Party project since I discovered this nigga. But I think they're trying to more discredit Party's collaboration to it than what Drake would do on his own. And who's to say Party never helped Drake write some of his songs in the past, which clearly he has. I think they're trying to discredit Party's efforts and his contribution to this project and saying it's not a real Drake project.
That's a Drake album.
Drake makes pop music, rap music, and R&B. This project only appealed to 1/3 of the musical styles that Drake brings to the table. I would argue it's the least popular.
With all the controversy going on, I don't care what you say. Let me tell you what happened. He's a whistleblower. You know what they did? You noticed you didn't see it plastered everywhere. It wasn't at the top.
Because it's not a real album.
That's a fact. It wasn't plastered everywhere. I'm not saying it's because it's not a real album. No, that's just unfair to say. And it's a cop-out. It definitely is a cop-out. No matter what it sold 250. It went number 1, and we're going to get into that afterward. Drake is now tied with Jay-Z for being the number 1 artist with the most number 1s with 14 on Billboard. But the shit did go number 1 on Billboard. It don't matter what it sold. It's still a number 1 album. No matter if it sold, 75,000 less than his adversary at the time. This is the only reason why this is a conversation and a thing is because Kendrick did something. Let's continue.
Yes, it is a real album.
Not quite.
It's a mix.
21 songs, bro.
You want to
it's
Drake
21 songs. 20 of them Drake on.
It's not as much of a
That's facts.
real album as the Kendrick album was a real album.
And
even the Kendrick album, to be fair, was not really a real Kendrick album.
Yes, it did 320.
Man, it was good.
Listen, Kendrick's non-real album and Drake's non-real album with help. With help, because Kendrick got a bunch of up-and-comings on his shit.
Right. Party Next Door is a bigger artist than any of the artists that he included.
We're talking about 70,000 run, and guess what? Drake got 9 more songs. More, you know what this means? He got 9 more songs than what Kendrick had. So he got 9 more streaming to get to that number. Kendrick had a hard 12. It's 12 songs.
That is a fair point. Basically what he's saying is when you have more, this is what Chris Brown, and I think they end up talking about Chris Brown albums, or maybe I imagine that, but the more songs you have on your album, the more opportunities you have to stream. So if an album has 5 songs on it and they all hit 1 million streams, you have 5 million streams. But if you got an album with 10 with 10 songs and they all do we could do 1 million again. By probability and by the sheer number of records, you have a larger opportunity to get more streams. That's what he's speaking to, which is a fact. I don't know how much it matters in this situation, but he's not telling a lie in that situation. He's telling the truth.
It's 21 on it. And Kendrick outran him by 70.
If Drake put out a real album, then we really have something to talk about.
He might do 200.
What? If he put out a real album that included pop, rap, and R&B, he would sell a lot more than 250.
First of all,
you know that.
And it did not have the full label push.
Let me tell you what I know.
They happy the West is back.
That is fact. It didn't have a label push. Like, it wasn't plastered everywhere like Wack was saying. So, I agree. It didn't have the label push at all. And Wack is happy the West is back.
Let me tell you what I know.
Kendrick don't claim you.
I know he posted. Hold on. That's nephew. Did you see what he posted?
3 seconds to think about that.
You know what he posted? You seen Lucid and Drake do the high five, right? The nigga turned around and posted Lucid's daughter-in-law photo. This nigga think he bigger than the program.
Drake did?
Straight up.
That is true. We could get into that. So let's get into the high five. Let me see how I can do this. So let's do this here. We're gonna open up a new page. I'm gonna show y'all the high five that was heard around the world. Let's close this out. You don't even see this nigga Lucian Grainge outside. This nigga was at the Grammys high-fiving niggas. I bet people that signed to his label don't even know what he looked like. That was their first time seeing him and didn't even know it was him. Lucian Grainge. I doubt I spelled his name right, but who gives a fuck? Lucian Grainge, Dr. Dre. Oh, here it go. Boom. So, this is where the high five took place. This was after Not Like Us won an award. So you can see Dr. Dre right here. You see he's pointing at Lucian right now. Like, hey, my nigga. Yeah. Look, they about to high five. Bam. High five. Lucian Grainge scene right there. Let's watch it again. As you know, Dr. Dre is heavily related in Kendrick Lamar's career. Made music with him. Signed him to Interscope. Interscope is a... UMG is the parent company of Interscope, which UMG is owned, or the CEO of UMG is Lucian Grainge. Yada, 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 yada. That's how this comes into play. And then, right after that happened, Drake, Lucian Grainge's daughter, this is what Wack was talking about. He posted this on the Plot Twist page. Somebody said, oh shit, we're in the end game. Plot Twist. Oh, Plot Twist posted Lucian Grainge's daughter-in-law and OVO merch. Hey Siri, play Survival by Drake. This possibly could be Photoshopped, the little OVO merch on there. I'm not thinking this is a real photo. This is a real photo of her. She is a real person. The photo might be Photoshopped with the logo on the OVO, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. And then you look in the the followers. That's the only person he's following. This is Drake's Finsta page. He follows her, Sophia Richie Grainge. I thought this was fucking Topanga when I first saw Shorty. Shorty definitely looks like Topanga from Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World. Topanga Lawrence. Kind of looks exactly like Shorty. I mean, obviously Topanga's a little bit older now, but they favor each other for sure. I mean, tell me not. You can have your opinion about who looks better, but I mean, it's pretty spot on to me. Let's get back into the clip.
Posted Allie's wife.
Lucian Cannon?
No, he posted.
Mash up. Put them
Drake
two
ran
together.
the game for years, and so everybody happy that they took the giant down.
Yeah, people love that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't know how Kendrick numbers is up there like that.
Nigga, what you mean you don't know how his numbers is
Because
up
ain't
there?
nobody listening to that in Texas? That's what you're saying?
We ain't
Get
bumping
the
that
fuck
shit.
out of here.
Really?
I can't name 5.
Texas ain't the whole South.
If Kendrick Lamar, if I seen the Kendrick Lamar in a mile, I wouldn't know who he was.
What?
There's the guy in the bell bottoms.
Get a bell, that's what I know.
Huh?
If he would a bell, I'm like, God damn, I'm paying tight.
So you listen, numbers don't lie, homie.
Niggas all capping.
These
Like,
streaming numbers do lie.
you know what Kendrick looked like, but I feel the sentiment.
Numbers, no, they don't.
I know people got 30
No,
million
they
once
don't.
this was ain't
Let
selling
me
that
tell you
stuff.
why those did lie. Because the whistleblower put everybody on the spotlight.
The whistleblower is a funny name. The whistleblower.
They couldn't move on nothing. He blew the whistle. He blew the whistle with an active lawsuit. His shit and the one Drake them just dropped is very authentic.
Yeah, but them streaming numbers, man, you can't. Somebody say he got 100 million.
First rapper to hit that?
I don't believe this shit.
100 million.
You know why? Because he's a West Coast there, but if Boosie would have, you'd have believed it.
Boo.
Boosie ain't shit, nigga. That nigga is 20%.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Basically, they getting into it back and forth about whether the streams are real. Wack is on the side of saying, hey, man, because of the whistleblower, he calling Drake the whistleblower, because of the lawsuit and what Drake stated in there saying that streams are fabricated, they're not real. I've always been on the side of, hey, man, you might have benefited from this on your own too, Drake. It's kind of crazy to call it out when a battle happens and this record that is, which, hey, I get it. The record is saying some foul shit about you, but this is what battle rap is. It might go outside of rap, but hey, I get it. I get both sides. So Wack is saying, hey, they had to stop all of that shit. It's an active lawsuit about them saying we are faking streams. So if we in an active lawsuit trying to prove that we aren't faking streams, we can't be faking streams, nigga. Like, if it was true before, we definitely can't do that shit right now. That's a fact. So Wack is trying to say, hey, man, these numbers are real from both of these guys. What Drake did and what Kendrick did, these gotta be real, because the label ain't doing they funny shit. If they were at one point, they're not doing it right now. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine that. Imagine you on trial for beating somebody up and you out on bond and it's footage of you beating somebody else up. It's gonna look like And this is a perfect transition. This is why a lot of people from the Tory and Meg case was saying Tory should have laid low, whether they think he did or didn't do what they accused him of. He went to jail for it, so the public perception is that he did it from most people. But their thing is, hey, bro, if you didn't do this shit, you got to lay low. You were definitely not laying low and not taking it serious. Or maybe he just thought because he knew he was innocent, he was just going about his regular life. But that's like saying, yo, I'm on trial for shooting somebody and getting caught with a gun shooting somebody. It's like, yo, bro, you making yourself look bad. So that's exactly why, if this is true, they couldn't fake streams, whether it was happening before or not.